Hi everyone! Happy Wednesday! I hope that you got to hear Miss Lori's bedtime story last night. I thought it was so fun to see her face, and it was nice to just sit in my PJs and listen to her read me a story. So you'll have to keep watching because Miss Lori will be back. But I'm here today, and I thought that we could maybe talk about the sound game and maybe play the sound game together. I've been really missing playing that with all of you. My sound box is at school. I don't have it at home with me here, but I thought that I could walk around the house and find some objects that we could play the sound game with. So that's what I did. And I bet that you've got lots of objects around your apartment or your house that you can find to play the sound game with. So what I found in my house, I found a spoon. Can you see? And I also washed my hands and found an apple. And I also found a candle. Can you see that it's a candle? I haven't lit it yet. That's the wick. And I thought that I would use these three objects to play a sound game with. So you can follow along, and I'll leave space for you to think about what sound I'm talking about. And it might also be nice for your grown-ups or your brothers or sisters or siblings to also watch because they can play the sound game with you. And you probably can find lots of objects in your apartment or your house to play the sound game with. I'm going to play the sound game by saying the first sound. If we usually play by saying the last sound or the middle sound or maybe every single sound you hear in that word, then that would be something really good for you also to do. But let's start with saying the first sound. Let's start with spoon. Let's say the first sound together. Spoon, spoon, spoon. I hear the first sound S in spoon. I'll put that right here on my stool. Let's do apple next. Apple, apple, ah, ah. I hear the first sound ah in apple. Last is our candle. K, k, candle. Candle, k, k, candle. All right, are you ready? Here we go. I'm gonna play I Spy and you see if you can follow along. You could point to the object on the screen or you could say it out loud at your house. Ready? I spy with my little eye something on the stool that begins with the sound ah, ah. Do you know which one it is? All right, here we go. I spy with my little eye something on the stool that begins with the sound S. Did you point to it? Okay. I spy with my little eye something on the stool that begins with the sound K. K. Did you point to it? K. All right, I wonder how many you got. You could play this game as many times as you want. There's probably lots of things that you can explore the first sounds with. And there's some other ways that we could play sound games at home too. I was thinking of a couple other ways. Something fun to do with maybe a brother or sister would be to say, look around the room and say, I spy something that starts with the sound P, P. And maybe they could look around the whole room and say, ah, is it a P, P, pillow? No, it's not a pillow. That does start with the sound P, but that's not the object I was thinking about. Maybe they would say, is it a P, P, plant? Yep, it was a plant. Miss Liz actually got me that plant. How sweet was that? And you could play by looking all around the room, or you could even say, maybe you could say to your sibling, you could say, go stand by something that starts with the sound K. And they'd have to walk all around the room, maybe even the house, and find something that starts with K and stand next to it. Or maybe you could choose things that were small and say, please bring me something that starts with the sound J, J, and see if they can walk around your house and find something that starts with J. So you could play the sound game lots of different ways. And adults and grown-ups, if you're going to play with your child, you can know that whatever sound they hear as that first sound is the one you should be thinking of. You know, we as adults often think of what the letter is, but they're going to listen for that sound. And so it could be a sound like shh. Maybe you're going to find, what begins with shh? Maybe a sheet of paper. And older children, we know that two sounds together can sometimes make a different sound, and we call that a phonogram. But that's still one sound that we're going to think about in the sound game. So they can think about any word, and you could think about the first sound of that. So there's lots of different sound games we could play. Parents and grown-ups, feel free to reach out to me if you've got questions. Children, I would love to see any photos or videos of you playing the sound game, or maybe you're just going to have some fun with your siblings and do that. I hope that was fun and helpful. You will have to come back to Facebook and see what we've got for you tomorrow. I think that it's going to involve some moving, maybe some dancing, maybe some singing. So come back and see what we've got for you. I miss you all. Bye.